We all know that video editing is the most time-consuming task for content creators, and annoyingly, video editing software is one of the most expensive things that you have to pay for as well. But because I'm looking out for you, I'm gonna save you time and money by finding the best free video editing apps and testing them out so you don't have to. This experiment has left me extremely impressed with the free options out there, and if we're honest, disappointed with some as well.
Stop right where you are. Oh my God, please. What the frick?
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be editing this reel in 5 different free editing softwares, trying my best to recreate the results that I got using my $300 plus pro setup, specifically looking to test how these free options are gonna handle adding text, background music, voiceover, B-roll, and auto captions. And of course, they all need to do this without adding a watermark. So here's the reel that we're gonna recreate for free, starting first with the free version of Davinci Resolve. Now, the paid version of Davinci Resolve is my personal go-to video editor for my YouTube videos and my reels, so I'm curious to see how the free version is gonna stack up. My typical process is editing the voiceover track first, so I can add my B-roll clips in afterward to match it.
I'm a really big fan of being able to layer the end of one sentence over the beginning of the next. I just find it really flows nicely and makes it a bit pacier.
Where other editors make things easy for beginners, they can actually end up making things more tedious and time-consuming for experts. For example,
I can change the volume across the entire track.
Compare this to something we're gonna come up against a little bit later.
Add as a new layer, close this, right-click, add volume keyframe, drag that keyframe down. That is the only way that I can change the volume.
So even though this version of Resolve is free, it really sets you up to keep learning and improving and becoming faster as an editor in the future.
The final thing to add is really just the title and the captions. We have in fact reached the main limitation of the free version of Davinci Resolve, which is that you cannot generate captions automatically. So what we're gonna do as an alternate option here is I'm gonna go ahead and export this, airdrop it over to my phone, and load it into Instagram as if I was gonna post it as a reel and just use Instagram's auto-generated captions in lieu of being able to add them myself.
So this was the result we were able to get with the free version of Davinci Resolve. Pretty much identical to our original version, just with the captions added in Instagram instead. Your mom was right. It really is that damn phone. If you want to feel creative again, you need to stop letting all your creative input be from content you scroll through on the internet. Not only is this boring for you, but it's boring for the audience too. But when you find new ideas in books or movies or realizations that you had when you were out for a walk, you will feel more creative.
Welcome to day 2 of the editing experiment, and today I am using CapCut for desktop, the free version, not the paid version, to edit my reel.
This is a hugely popular free video editor, mostly because it's made by the same company as TikTok, so it has a bunch of integrations with TikTok, but I need to admit something.
Transparently, I have never edited anything in CapCut for desktop. I have used CapCut on my phone like a handful of times, but I've never been a big CapCut user at all.
CapCut's known for having a ton of templates and effects that make it easy for beginners to achieve some pretty cool results.
This is kind of fun. This is where I think CapCut is so perfectly designed for like social content, because you've got these like built-in, enticing, interesting designs.
These are all kind of ugly
that you can use without having to put in any like effort, really.
She said so optimistically.
Okay, well, we tried.
Eventually, I found something decently suitable and added it to my timeline. CapCut does have an impressive amount of adjustments you can make to the text, and I find this quite intuitive for beginners. For sure better than Davinci Resolve's text editing options anyway. With that done and dusted, it was time to add our captions.
Okay, this is definitely an area where like CapCut is superior because there's so many great options for these captions, and it's really quite intuitive to make these changes. So dang, I'm impressed with this. Oh my gosh, please let me just hit space without pressing play.
This is where CapCut utterly bamboozled me. I had such a positive first impression.
I mean, there's so much more we could do with this, I think. Like, oh my gosh, you can even add a curve to them. How interesting.
But I was deceived. I thought it was gonna be so easy.
Please, just let me type in this box.
But I ended up having to manually add a bunch of sections that the auto caption feature just completely skipped. And it was frustrating.
Oh my God. Oh my God, please. What the frick? There is no reason I should have to be typing out so Come on, CapCut, work with me, please. Okay. We finally made it through that. That is so aggravating. Okay, I take back everything that I said about how good CapCut is for captions, because what the heck?
All that was left was exporting, which was quite straightforward. And we had completed our voiceover reel made in CapCut.
Your mom was right. It really is that damn phone. If you want to feel creative again, you need to stop letting all your creative input be from content you scroll through on the internet.
Okay, so no matter what software you're using to edit your videos, there is one thing that you absolutely cannot skip out on if you want to make high quality content for social media, and that is B-roll. And when you don't have the time, skills, or equipment to capture the B-roll that you need, that is where Storyblocks comes in. I've been using Storyblocks for years now to get stock assets for my videos like sound effects, background music, stock footage, and animation templates, and I can download them all for one simple monthly subscription. Storyblocks is adding new stock content to their library all the time, created by real human artists, never generative AI, and it's all royalty free, so you can use it in your YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, and all across social media. It's truly such an asset for creators who want to increase the quality of their videos and make them more engaging. So if you want to check it out for yourself, you can go to storyblocks.com/Katie or click the link in the description to get unlimited stock assets for one set monthly price. And of course, thanks to Storyblocks for sponsoring today's video. Today is day 3 of the free video editing app challenge, and we're tackling iMovie. I didn't know it yet, but iMovie was about to absolutely wreck me. Not just because this app is low-key very annoying to use. I fear that in an effort to make a user-friendly software, Apple has just made a useless software. But because about 45 minutes into this editing experiment, I was about to realize that I had never actually started my screen recording. Have I not been screen recording this whole time? I feel like every YouTuber who has forgotten to hit record has been in this valley of despair, so just moment of silence for that. God damn it. So I guess I'll start by saying a few nice things about iMovie before I launch into my rant. The interface is very clean and simple, and I think it's quite intuitive. You can click and drag your clips into the timeline. You can preview the timeline in the top right corner. Okay, am I just rambling about the layout now because I have nothing else positive to say about this app? Okay, that means it's time to get into my gripes. For such a beginner-friendly app, I would have thought that the aspect ratio of the project would automatically adjust based on what you imported or something. I'm not sure that we're in a vertical aspect ratio here. But no, don't you dare press the big obvious new project button. You actually need to go to the obscure setting under File, New App Preview. It's 2025, and this is the option that iMovie has for editing vertical videos. We have psychologically survived editing this voiceover. Let's see about adding a title. The text options are pretty dismal, and of course there is no option to generate automatic captions, so we're gonna export this and then once again just use the Instagram built-in captioning feature to be able to add captions to this video. But with that, here's our voiceover reel edited in iMovie.
Your mom was right. It really is that damn phone. If you want to feel creative again, you need to stop letting all your creative input be from content you scroll through on the internet. It's day 4 and we're editing with Descript. Or is it Descript? I've never known how you're supposed to say it. And I've also never really edited using this app before.
Descript is known for its text-based editing layout. You bring in your video clips and Descript will transcribe them, allowing you to cut out parts of your video by simply selecting the words and deleting them, just like you're editing a Word document. It's definitely built as a user-friendly option for people who don't have a background in video editing.
Let's upload some files.
As smooth as the process is supposed to be, it definitely didn't feel fast.
We could be here for a while.
15 minutes later.
Honestly, this is my biggest pet peeve about any online video editor. It just takes so long to get all your footage in there. It seems to me like what has happened is all of our clips have been transcribed and automatically put in the timeline, just one after another, the entire thing start to finish. And what this has also exposed, if you look through this transcript, is that I am constantly listening to podcasts and audiobooks while I film my B-roll. So it's like here we've got some Davinci Code, not Bernstein's podcast. So Anyway, this is all complete nonsense.
So admittedly, the kind of video that I'm editing here is really not the type of video that Descript is designed for. It really is designed for podcasts or dialogue-heavy YouTube videos, not for visuals-first content. So now that I've admitted that, I can complain about how annoying it was to edit visuals-first content in it.
Oh my god, instant overstimulation.
So when I would bring my B-roll clips into the timeline, there was no easy way to mute them or remove their audio. And so both the audios would play when I would preview it. When I finally realized I could expand the timeline-based editor at the bottom, that was a huge game changer. However, the platform continued to be a bit
so glitchy. This is so annoying. Stop right where you are. What is even going on? I've gone ultrasonic because I'm so annoyed. Actually, we're deleting everything.
But when it was finally time to add my captions, this is where I have to admit Descript has been the best of all the options we've looked at so far. What was a bit disappointing though, with the free version, you can only export at 720p.
So that's like the worst resolution that we've seen so far. Everything else has been able to do 1080p. The free version of Davinci Resolve could do 4K, so that's a little unfortunate. I think to be fair to Descript, if you were using it for its more like intended target purpose of editing long form videos and podcasts, or even doing clips of your podcast, I think there's a lot of cool functionality there, a lot of cool built-in templates that would be hard to achieve with just, you know, other software. If you were gonna try to have Descript be your one and only video editor, I think it would get annoying to edit stuff that wasn't super like text-based and transcript-based, like something that's super visual. It's a little bit aggravating to do that.
Your mom was right. It really is that damn phone. If you want to feel creative again, you need to stop letting all your creative input be from content you scroll through on the internet. Not only is this boring for you, but it's boring for the audience too. But when you find new ideas in books or movies or realizations that you had when you were out for a walk, you will feel more creative, and the content you make will resonate with more people online too.
It's the final day of our editing experiment, and today we're tackling Canva.
So I was excited about this one. I've been a loyal Canva user for ages now.
And for the record, while I do have a paid Canva account, usually I created a free one so that we could see this with only the free features.
But recently, Canva updated their video editing feature to be timeline-based rather than page-based, which is so much nicer for video editing. Before, it felt like trying to make a video in a slide deck, and now it feels like a proper video editor.
Let's upload our footage. Immediately, we're running into problems. We're like way over the storage limit. I'm surprised it's let me even do this, but
despite the storage issues, it didn't stop me from editing, so I kept moving forward. Quickly, I discovered something a little funny.
Why isn't it letting me make this longer?
Basically, you can't have audio where there is no video. So I had to add a blank clip to the video track to be able to extend my voiceover to its full length. A little silly, but not a huge problem. What did start to be a problem though is that it was
a little bit laggy. You can see I'm trying to scrub along the timeline right now, and like it's sort of stuck, and then like eventually it'll catch on to the fact that I'm trying to scrub through it, and it might show me a few frames blurrily. I've now got two different audio clips, like I've split them. Can I drag this? No. It only goes side to side.
The next step was to add our title, which of course we do need to give Canva her flowers for that.
When it comes to titles and graphics, we know that Canva is gonna have good options for this. So I've just gone over to text and let's add a heading here.
However, adding our subtitles ended up being more challenging than I would have expected.
Generating captions is taking longer than expected. Please wait a few minutes and try again. I've given it a few minutes, let's try again. Generate captions. Oh my goodness, okay. Well then it happened instantly. Okay, that's great. What is that talking about? Okay, it's captioned this video clip, not my freaking voiceover. What? Oh gosh. You can only caption videos that have audio in the background. You can't caption just a straight up audio file. And I recorded my voiceover just as a voice note, not as a video, so there's not even a way to import it as one.
Basically, the ideal situation to make a video like this in Canva would be to record your voiceover as a video and just simply leave the video as the first layer. Cover it entirely with B-roll and you're good to go. But if you, like me, recorded your voiceover as audio only, you're gonna need to export this video from Canva without the captions, re-upload it, and then generate captions for it, because finally at that point, Canva will interpret it as a video with dialogue, allowing it to transcribe it. Pretty annoying, honestly, but whatever. I guess at least the captioning feature is free. Her mom was right. It really is that damn phone. So after this week-long experiment, which is actually the best free video editor? Honestly, they all have their pros and cons. Many creators use CapCut and I could totally see why. There's a lot of great features in there, which gives you a lot of flexibility, and yet it is still quite intuitive for beginners. So like, I wouldn't blame you for going with CapCut. However, I think the winner for me has got to be Davinci Resolve. It is by far the most robust, totally free version of a video editor that you can get. And what I love about it is it really gives you the opportunity to continue to learn and grow and expand your skills and eventually transition into like an industry leading pro video editing software. If you become an expert in CapCut, like that's kind of your end point. But if you become an expert in the free version of Davinci Resolve, you can eventually get the paid version, and like that's what the pros use. I will say the lack of auto captions might just be a deal breaker for especially social media creators. I feel like for YouTube, it's not as big of a deal, but when it comes to short form video, you really do want those captions. You could consider a workaround like editing your videos majority in Davinci Resolve and then just uploading the final version to like Canva to create your auto captions, or using Instagram like I showed you, but that's not ideal. Of all these editors, I loved the auto caption feature from Descript the best. Loved the animations, loved how easy it was to edit them. However, you can only export in 720p on the free version of Descript, which to me is a bit of a deal breaker. Well, you will have to make the final call yourself on which of these you think is the best free video editing software. Let me know how you cast your vote in the comments. I'll be really curious to hear. And let me know if you'd like to see more comparisons or more video editing tutorials. I could do a version like this that's all based on apps for editing on your phone. If you want to watch a video of me being angry for 20 minutes straight because I hate editing on my phone, but I will do it for you. And if you want to dive in on your Davinci Resolve journey, you can watch this video to get some beginner editing tips to get you started with that software. As always, I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!